Kuzambo, and welcome back to yet another episode of RTC Insider. Today we are joined by a very prominent and important figure. We have with us Madam Register, Madam Dechen Dolkar. Please welcome to RTC Insider.
Thank you, pleasure to be here.
So, we have a few questions to be asked, and Madam can feel free to answer any question. So, question is to answer. Namsame right the wrong say kachemi na madam katabi feel pro man si sundi kachana sa shumela. So tamborang ache question this ask maybe hema madam can introduce or say something to the viewers.
So my name is Dechen Dolkar. Apart from serving as the registrar in the Student Services Department, I also have this pleasure of being affiliated with the Royal Thimphu College football clubs. And I guess we're here today to speak about that. So maybe I answer your questions.
Okay. So, Tariding ache SSD, the student service ke colleague member, we are going to talk about football. So, Madam, apart from being a register, Madam's role in RTC FC is a general secretary. So, my first question is, as a head of student service department and general secretary for RTC FC, how do you balance your academic role responsibilities with football clubs operations, especially during peak seasons and tournaments?
I guess I'm lucky that way because there's a good teamwork. So I don't feel the pressure when our football clubs are heavily invested during the tournaments and matches. For instance, we have a team of officials in the RTC FC, the managers, so because they sincerely do their work, I don't really see that I have two different roles. So I come in when when advice is sought, mainly in terms of coordination, documentation, management, and then we also have very good support from the student leaders. So while I have the pleasure of being associated with the FC, at least up until now, I haven't really felt that I have this dual role. And I think in terms of the responsibilities I have towards the RTC FC, it's been a very easy transition. I've eased into this role, and it's a pleasure to be part of, and an honor to be part of RTC FC.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So the next question is, from your position overseeing both students' welfare and football development, how do you see the RTC FC contributing to holistic development, such as discipline, leadership or teamwork?
It's quite a long question, huh? But I guess in terms of the vision, the mission that the RTC FC has, it aligns very closely with the college vision and the values that we uphold. So rather than speak of how RTC FC might contribute, our expectation is that by being part of RTC FC, the players embody these values, and that would help in their own development, not only as professional football players, but also as good human beings. So I see that potential, and I also see the possibility, because now the RTC FC is gaining visibility, so that they inspire students on campus and maybe even the young people outside. And I think that leads to, the transmission of the good values that we uphold in this college.
Yes, exactly, ma'am. We heard people saying about our football players being very disciplined, very hardworking and dedicated. So thank you. Thank you for...
Good to hear that.
Thank you for answering the questions. So the next question is, as an active supporter or a fan of football clubs in Bhutan, how do you envision as the next big step RTC FC can take to strengthen its dedication, or how do you envision RTC FC to strengthen the women's football in Bhutan?
Women's football?
Yeah.
By winning the championship. Number one, we are close. I think that goal is very close, and we have high expectations of not just of the women's team but also the men's team. So I think it's not too far out in the future. I see that we win the championships.
That's on the field, but how about off the field?
I didn't quite get the question.
Yeah. How can RTC take bigger steps to strengthen women's football,
Okay, then I
both
think
on and off the field.
Okay, so on the field, I think another way is Ms. Tashi and Chimi, since I work with them quite closely, the youth teams, I think, because that's off the field at the moment. But I guess engaging and scouting and looking for young talent, engaging with young students at the school level would then groom prospective players. And I think being part of the RTC FC Youth Club would also inspire students, young children in school. So I think that's one way. The other way is, I think, through upholding our values, we inspire whoever comes to cheer or support, and even those who just are part of the audience. We sort of inspire them and also emulate the good conduct that our players would then demonstrate on the field. And hopefully what we learn on the field is something that we also carry forward in our lives outside the field.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you. The next question is, in your dual leadership roles, where do you see RTC FC in next 3 to 5 years, and what role do you hope it plays in shaping larger sport cultures within Royal Timber College?
I definitely see us right on the top, both our teams. Okay. And I think because I consider football to be one sport that is a spectator sport. I mean, I can't imagine, and with all due respect, but I can't imagine somebody playing chess, no? But football is an exciting game because it allows us spectators also to engage and be part of the game. So I guess in that sense, I think that in the future, because of the way RTC FC is moving forward, we would also start excelling in other team games such as basketball. What other games are there? Volleyball, yeah, it's all about balls. Yes, so badminton. I hope to see that the spirit continues to go beyond football, and then maybe we start excelling and taking other sports seriously as well.
Okay, when Madam mentioned about chess, I couldn't imagine cheering up for the chess players.
We are not allowed to, so we have to be quiet, no? Yeah. No noise, because then it distracts the players. Yeah.
So glad that we are cheering up for RTC FC rather than for the chess player.
But with due apologies to Dr. Stephen, might be upset if he watches this podcast.
Okay, ma'am. So, what drives your passion for football, especially for women's football?
To be honest, I wasn't really passionate about women's football earlier on in life, but I think from all the sports I used to follow football. During our time, it was different. We never got to watch live matches. It was all delayed, recorded in VCRs, and a few sports magazines, and that's how we would stay connected. Because I'm a dinosaur, so you won't be able to imagine the time I come from. But I think now, when we look at the level of games played by the ladies in football, I think I've also recently become a fan of women's football. I've been active also in my youth, not as a footballer. During our times, I think we used to play only exhibition matches. So men play the real game. So we used to be called just for that 15-minute exhibition match. Yes, so before the final. So one of us kicks the ball, all of us run after the ball. So then in that crowd, the ball is lost for a good 1 to 2 minutes. Then accidentally someone kicks the ball out. Then again all of us rush there. So, but now if you look at the level of play, I think we've really improved in terms of women's football.
Okay, I'm happy and glad to know that Madam became a passionate about football after reaching to RTC and after witnessing our women's football team. So the next question I want to ask is, Karagi lamimo Madam RTC na chamchimebe when we go outside RTC campus, people are happy and they are interested in RTC football cheer team. So introducing RTC Cheer Team has added unique energy. Our boys or the women's teams are very boosted inside and outside the field. So how do you think that Cheer Team purpose is Cheer Team how it is contributing to RTC FC's overall performance?
Like you said, I've heard good feedback. Initially, this idea was expressed, the need, because we always had members who cheered. We always had students who cheered, faculty, we have members of the faculty and staff who are real what do you call it,
Dedicated,
supporters,
yes.
dedicated supporters.
But
It's
less
just that, the numbers were small and it wasn't coordinated. So the president of RTC FC expressed his desire to see if we could come together and sort of coordinate all of us, and that's where the idea was born. And last season, after the cheer team was formed, the home games especially were played very well.
Yes.
So we've had some, of course the players also did well, but the feedback from the players also was that the cheer team really boosted their morale and helped them achieve. And I think that's a motivation for the cheer team
yes.
also. So hopefully this
So
sustains.
Yeah, we have taken some more members this time, right?
Yes, but the challenge is it's easy to start something, but to sustain it is difficult. So we are working on that.
Okay.
But having all the student leaders as ex-officio members really helps.
Okay.
Because then they garner the support.
Okay.
You too, no? you were part of the cheer team.
Yeah, I'm part of the cheer team, but I'm not leading the cheer team, but I'm part of the cheer team. And I'm happy to be the part of cheer team.
Yeah, but we still expect Galek to be an active member. I'm taking advantage of this podcast.
Okay, ma'am, for sure, ma'am. So the next question is, as someone deeply passionate about football, how do you have a favorite football player, both male and female? And we would love to know your local football player, your favorite local football player, apart from the international ones. You can mention the international ones, ma'am. Your favorite.
Thank God, okay. So maybe I'll start from there. Because I told you what the scenario was like earlier.
Yes.
I don't have one particular footballer whom I used to really admire. But because also he was good looking, I used to like Johan Cruyff, who played, he's called the Flying Dutchman also, no? He's from the 70s, you won't have heard of him, I think.
I have no idea about who
I used to like him
mentioned.
because of his versatility, of the different positions that he could play, and he was also thought to be the, the creator, the game planner.
Oh,
So that was one reason. Did I mention he's handsome?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Of course, you have the famous footballers of the world. Pele was also there around his time. So then after a while I lost touch, but in 2002, two international players that really sort of inspired me was, they're not very well mentioned all the time. Cafu, the Brazilian captain, and Roberto Carlos.
Oh.
So they won the World Cup that year. So though not the, strikers, although they didn't score goals as such, the fact that they were calm, cool, held their positions, I think that's inspiring. Local players, I think Chencho Gelson, also because of his humility.
Okay.
That's one thing that really, I think that's one thing I really respect for players who've done well, but are still able to maintain humility and the leadership qualities.
Okay.
Let's see. If I mention one name, I have one from RTC FC, but I don't want to
Mention.
I don't want to mention, I'm sorry.
Okay, so if you want to become the favorite football player of Madam, please keep in mind what Madam have mentioned. Okay, apart from good looking, the other things. So the other question is, what advice would you give to young women aspiring to take leadership roles in football? Through your experience, ma'am.
I think if you're involved in some sort of a game that you pursue seriously, I think the leadership, you already build on your leadership skills. Yes, number one. So that's taken. If you lead an active lifestyle, you follow, you do sports, you always learn, because there's things like discipline, punctuality that come automatic when you engage in sports. So I guess everybody who plays a sport seriously will have these leadership skills in them. I'm sorry if I've forgotten some other skills as well, but these are two I can think of at the moment. But I'm very sorry, there used to be a time when I used to teach in school, I used to also tell students, focus on academics, but more sports you don't get anywhere in life. I apologize because I think I'm wrong, because today things have changed.
Yes.
So today if you're good in sports and you can excel, I think there is a future, there's a career. And so if you're really interested, if you're dedicated, if you're willing to if you're willing to sweat it out, I think we have reached a time when you can actually take up sports as a profession. And even if you don't later on, all the leadership skills that you acquire during your time that you spend in sports is something that you carry to any work environment that you enter.
Yes. What we have to do is balancing.
Exactly.
Yes. We had a time our parents we are not supported by parents. Yes, ma'am, supported. But now the parents are, I think they are very supportive. And so it's a message to teachers and parents to support their interest more.
Definitely, you're right.
So the last but not the least, the last question is, what is your memorable match from RTC? As if it's a good or bad one.
Since I'm part of the cheer club, then I'd have to say we have a lot of memorable matches. Some ended, what do you call it? Not feeling so good, and other times where happy, exhilarated. But because it was the first time the AFC was being hosted in Bhutan, and the cheer club was also involved, the whole RTC community was involved, and the fact that I also got to sit in the stadium with the cheer team and go all out. I think the matches played by the women's team, football club against Khatun and Kichi FC. I think that's something I will always remember.
So we are hoping for some more matches.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
This. Okay.
So I want to see you there.
Definitely, madam. So, tangachi nam sumi question in the focus ma'am. So let's play a game. So,
okay. So scary.
This is rapid fire round questions, ma'am. So I'll be asking a series of questions, ma'am. Can choose one another, or you can answer the questions, ma'am. So the first one is coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Early meetings or late night matches?
Early meetings.
Okay. One word to describe RTC FC, ma'am.
Young, daring, potential, winners.
Okay, definitely. We'll hope to see RTC emerging as champion this time, ma'am. So, if you could switch roles for a day, coach, referee, or striker?
Striker,
definitely, ma'am.
Easy pick.
Okay, so one thing people don't know about you, ma'am.
I'm an open book, yeah. I think hopefully I project myself the way I am. I can't think of anything.
Okay. Okay. Describe your leadership style in 3 words, ma'am.
Respect, equality, and kindness.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Favorite local football club, ma'am, other than RTC FC?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Next question.
Okay.
I don't have one.
One word to describe women's football.
Pardon?
One word to describe women's football.
Coming up.
Okay. So, stronger leadership traits, empathy or assertiveness?
Empathy.
Okay. If RTC FC won an international title tomorrow, your first reaction would be?
Yay!
Definitely. So with this week we come to the end of the RTC Insider, and we would like to thank Madam for taking time and being with us today in this RTC Insider. So Madam gi ta viewers to solo last watch or tari this time gi ani ngachi gi season na lo Jerbe watching se pero request out Madam khatule sunyo bachin.
First of all, thank you for having me today, and I always like to use this opportunity whenever it presents itself. So to all the people watching, please come and support RTC FC. And for those of you who support us, please continue to support us. And if any members of the RTC community is watching this show, we would like to welcome you to the RTC Cheer Club. Okay. Because I think great things are in store for both the men's team and the women's team as well.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Namson kari session tayna chinna minute session. Te ta madam gi sundo zumbrain session na tanga chat this season the RTC na lo te jenda mado YouTube chen gi te na chin chamato mila share session la ndi bendi khara gi japcho bewa chen na te japcho baby this gi ta thod japcho se kari chana session la kari che.